4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Market in Minutes for Freestyle Friday. Can you all see my screen off to the left before I start going? The one
Yes.
with the squat. Okay.
Good.
So, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy fucking Friday. I'm going to take a look at actually, before I screw it all up, I'm going to ask I know, April, right? I'm going to ask April for if you have a quote of the day, girl. Do you have a quote for us today?
I do. This morning's quote from March 24th is, "Get your facts first, then distort them as you please."
Oh, wow. Get your facts first and then distort them as you please. That could sound like almost like you're making a judgment, possibly. That's a different one, April, for sure. But I like it. Or you could go the other side and say, get your facts first and don't make a judgment because you're only judging yourself,
Right. If you get the facts first, then you can have the discernment if you want to mess those facts up. Just look at the world today.
Boy, that's like opening a can of worms. That's for sure. Look at you. Thank you, April. Let's see here, guys. We got the fear and greed index at 31. It's been coming up very, very slowly this week. On the 22nd, we had Powell announce, his increase in rates by a quarter point, and there is still quite a bit of fear in the market. Things are not pretty out there, basically, but I think it started out the week at 19 or something like that. I'd have to go back and check, but it is climbing. So we should see a little bit of market response from that. We're going to go to the morning squawk. So shaky ground. It's been a volatile few days, but the major U.S. stock indices were up for the week heading into Friday season. That could change thanks to a new upheaval in the global banking system. Shares of Deutsche Bank, which experienced a sharp rise in credit default swaps, weighed on European markets. U.S. futures showed the same strain Friday morning. Elsewhere, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, the statue, played a little cleanup Thursday after she said the government wasn't considering a universal backstop of the U.S. deposits the day before. The strong actions we have taken to ensure that Americans' deposits are safe. Certainly, we would be prepared to take additional actions if warranted, she told lawmakers Thursday. Wow. I'm not even going to comment further on that. It would be all derogatory. A time to borrow. Another thing investors are keeping an eye on, how banks are using a new lending program the Federal Reserve unveiled earlier this month to quell concerns about the sector after Silicon Valley Bank collapse. This week, financial institutions borrowed $53.7 billion from the Bank Term Funding Program, a big jump from $11.9 billion last week. Those figures are staggering. The program allows banks to secure one-year loans backed by treasuries and other assets at full price, even if their market values are lower. As CNBC's Yu Sons point out, U.S. banks are sitting on loads of unrealized losses from bonds on rising interest rates that weigh on their value. So I work with banks a lot, and I talk to even some local banks, and they bought these bonds in 2020. They all did it. The local hometown banks seem to be more stable than a lot of these big banks because they didn't buy as many bonds at these big banks. One, because they don't have the capital to do it. But I was talking to a banker on Wednesday, the president of a bank, and he says they have to sit on these bonds, man, and wait for them to mature. And they invested enough in other assets that they're not in trouble. It's freaking crazy when I talk to these bank presidents because I learned they're a business like any other business, and they invest their money. And if they make poor choices and poor decisions, then they get in trouble. It's really, really interesting what I've been learning. TikTok CEO feels the heat. I cannot pronounce that guy's name, Shouzi Chu or something. The CEO of Uber, popular social media platform TikTok, faced one angry lawmaker after another. During a fiery 5-hour House hearing Thursday, the rancor was bipartisan too, since anti-TikTok fervor is most attention-grabbing way to criticize China and Washington. Officials in Congress and the Biden administration believe TikTok is a national security threat, given that it's owned by China-based ByteDance. TikTok needs to be an American company with American values and end its ties to Chinese Communist Party. Republican Darren Soto, Republican Florida, I believe, said during the hearing. Proponents of the app say other social media platforms carry their own risks, but they aren't being subjected to the same treatment. TikTok pushed back against the congressional onslaught, not mentioned today by members of the committee. The livelihoods of the 5 million businesses on TikTok, or the First Amendment implications of banning a platform loved by 150 million Americans. That's going to leave a mark if they get that on. Walmart recalibrates. Even Walmart, the nation's largest retailer, grocer, and employer, isn't immune from shifts in the economy. The big box behemoth has been laying off hundreds of employees at e-commerce fulfillment centers across the country. This decision was not made lightly, and we're working closely with affected associates to help them understand that career options may be available at other Walmart locations. The company said while there's not a lot of Walmart employees, relatively speaking, it speaks to a bigger overall shift in how shoppers are spending their money. Indeed, as Americans who are squeezed by inflation spend more on essentials like groceries, they spend less on online impulse buys and discretionary items. Walmart benefits from that dynamic given its scale and low prices, which puts strain on its competition. Russia's strikes kill civilians. More Ukrainian civilians died overnight in a new wave of Russian airstrikes as the war grinds on with no end in sight. 3 resettled women from other settlements of the region died under the rubble, and more people were injured. Ukraine's state broadcaster said elsewhere Ukrainian forces have signaled that they are mustering a major counteroffensive. This comes as Russian forces seemingly stall out in their attempts to take part of the eastern Ukraine. Wow. We got a lot going on, guys. It's freaking crazy. Let me pull something up here that I forgot to do. Just 1 second. Let's see. So, hey, Faye, can you talk to us about gold and silver real quick while I'm pulling this up?
Yeah, there's not much that's changed since yesterday. Thank you. Spot price of gold is 1994.88 USD, and silver is 23.27. So again, we're still testing 2000, but we are reaching all-time highs and surpassing highs in certain countries. Like for instance, in India, they're at an all-time high, which puts a lot of pressure because when they go into wedding season,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you guys know, but like in certain countries like China, India, some of the Middle Eastern countries, they give gold jewelry as gifts. So that puts a lot of pressure on the families, right?
Oh, wow. I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah. So we're reaching all-time highs in many countries in the world.
Didn't it top 2000 just barely yesterday on the price? Did you see
Yeah,
that, Faye?
yeah, but it was
Okay.
rejected.
It was? Okay. Gotcha. I thought I saw a clip on that. So
Yeah,
thank you, Faye.
I think we reached like 204 or something like that.
Yeah, just over
Sorry,
2 grand.
2000. Yeah.
I know what you meant. Yeah, I thought I saw, I think
Yeah.
Billy posted something on it.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
You're welcome.
So it looks like we got about the same pattern that the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500, they all kind of follow the same lines, but we've got the Dow up 75.14, the NASDAQ up 117.44, and the S&P 500 up 11.75. God, it kind of looks like a cup and handle, but that's a big handle. Let's check out the S&P. It looks like we've got this thing, the SPY at 389.74. And my flex grid never goes to where I tell it to. Let's take a look here. We've been drawing some lines on this thing. It looks like you got the 50-day crossing the 200. The 13's on a downturn over the 50-day, but there's been some really good opportunities. I've been studying the SPY a lot lately, getting ready to trade options on it. Like freaking Kyle and Billy are doing. We had a good session yesterday, man. I'm really excited about options actually. So does anybody, what's that, brother?
That's where it's at right now, especially in this market.
Yeah, I think you know, we're gonna have to pivot a little bit and adapt until this market changes, you know.
Yeah.
You guys have both had some
move, counter move. You have to be able to adapt to what's going on in anything in your life, right?
Oh, exactly, brother. That's right.
Another
That's exactly
situation.
what I'm doing on a personal note too. So you're right, Kyle. You hit the nail on the head, man. For sure. That's the beauty of this group and our family, you know. We can all adapt and change and learn and grow together, man. It's a great message. Does anybody have anything else that they would like to add to the market in minutes today?
Just watch out for some levels on this SPY. We could head down further. I personally think in the morning we're going to get a bounce. I think we're going to get a bounce this morning, head upward. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the day, but there's a chance we could get a pullback. And there's some levels that we need to pay attention to, 370 and then even to 360. And if we keep breaking that, we're going to get down to like super low. A major level is like 348. 94.
You really think that thing could crack that low, Kyle?
That was back in October, so that was like when blood was in the streets, you know, back then. So
yeah,
I don't think we're gonna get back in there until like May, but man, I mean,
you never can tell, man. That's the thing.
Possible that, I mean, people just need to be aware that it's possible that we get to these other levels. You know what I mean?
Right. You say that was back in October. Oh, look at that. 348 right there, huh?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Yeah, anything's possible, man. That's for sure. Well, I think that is about it for the market minutes, unless anybody else has anything they want to add.
DXY had a pretty big pop yesterday up, which is our
which stock?
No, the dollar index.
Oh, the dollar index, it went up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, it went up quite a bit. So just might want to keep an eye on that because that's our inverse indicator for the stocks and everything else to keep an eye on.
Thank you, April. All right, guys, if there's nothing else, I think that's a wrap. And we thank you for joining us. We thank our sponsor, Double Bottom Trading, inside 3T Academy. And it's going to be a great day today.